Morris, listening on KPFK in Long Beach. Hey, Morris.
Hey, I love everybody. Listen, I love that question. How should we pick the head of our country? I like the word character. Jimmy Carter had a little bit of it. Dwight Eisenhower, military man, but he still had some. And I think we should get somebody that inspires others, like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders inspires people. I think we should get a candidate to speak to the people's narrative, like a Eugene Debs. That's why he probably went to jail, but somebody like that. And I'm going to tell you a little something that I've noticed, though. I'm not one of the candidates. I don't care which candidate you're talking about. None of them have addressed the military budget, not one, which leads me to believe, as Jimmy Dore has once suggested, that the Democrats are paid to lose. Now, here in Los Angeles, for example, we got a homeless population that went up 12%. Now, watch this. A guy named Blaise Pompey, who's now in heaven, taught us something, that the F-35, that military jet that don't nobody want, that firefighter, the amount of money that's been put in that military equipment there would put every homeless person in this country in a mansion, just to let you know how wealthy we are and how much money our military people get. Now, I would be happy myself with just a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. I don't need no mansion, but it lets you know that we've got to address that expenditure, and not one of them have ever addressed that cost, and they're not doing it now. Am I wrong?
Well, I'll agree and I'll disagree. One, your general point that if you look at the federal budget, and Morris, thank you so much for the question. If you look at the federal budget, anybody you hear on talk radio who says they want to shrink government, any candidate for office who says they want to shrink government, any pundit on Fox News says they want to shrink government. Let's understand what government spends on, okay? Anytime they say like foreign aid, anytime they say like food stamps, you pick the thing. Let's look at the federal budget, all right? And there's a handy tool. I have a friend that says, Jeff, I want to make sure if I listen to radio, I learn something. Okay, some people know this, some people might not. This might be useful. It'll be useful for everybody. Some people might already know. Okay. So about 3/4, give or take, of the federal budget goes to the following 5 things: Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, U.S. military, service on the national debt. That's the federal budget. Everything else, every other thing, like trips to Camp David, anything that you've ever heard. I remember there was a story on, they're spending money on soda pops in prisons and jails. Look at the soda pop budget. They're spending like hundreds of thousands of dollars on soda pop. We need our $100,000 is a lot of money. We need our hundreds of thousands of dollars back. Come on, now we're talking the billions and trillions here. That all the soda pops, all the trips to England, all the benefits for a poor family, other than Medicaid, amount to, give or take, quarter of the budget. Pretty much all the budget, those 5 things. I will say them again: Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, service and national debt, and, as Morris said, the U.S. military. If you're going to do something about changing the federal budget in a real way, you are addressing those 5 things. If you're talking about addressing the federal budget and you're not talking about those 5 things, all you're doing is lying and politicking. All you're doing is trying to get, clicks or call-ins on your radio show or votes for fake reasons. And of those, like service to the national debt, well, you don't want to stop paying it. You might not want to incur as much. Social Security, let me tell you, we owe that. It is a brilliant program, and it will, I promise you right now, become more important and a bigger issue than even it has been in the past, because we've got, 30 million baby boomers with no retirement. And mark my words, if we're still friends in 8 years, when just about every boomer is retired and a bulk of boomers are starting to need assisted living, and if you've looked at assisted living expenses, they can be $5,000 a month for, relatively basic care. If you get memory care, like $7,000, it's really expensive stuff. That we are going to need a Marshall Plan level of investment on making sure that we take care of our seniors, and the people who are grumpy at boomers will recognize that if the boomers aren't taken care of, we're all kind of hosed. Medicare and Medicaid, I mean, those are the investments in health care we make. We could take those and invest them into a system of national health insurance. A lot of sensibility there. We're not going to save much money there. We'll save more money in the healthcare system, but not in the overall governmental budget. So in general, I want to agree with you that looking at the military budget, if you are a Democrat and you are trying to do something about the budget and you don't look at the military budget, you're not operating with clear eyes and a full heart. That said, I quibble with your math. I don't think the F-35 budget would buy a mansion for every homeless person. A lot of that's bad news because we have too many people experiencing houselessness right now. I'd also quibble a little bit. I know at least Mike Gravel, that's how he pronounces his name. I have heard candidates talk about it. We're absolutely right, is it's under-prioritized. It's under-discussed. And I think one of the reasons is the thing I was just talking about. It's so hard to maintain a straight face when honoring very legitimately and morally and necessarily soldiers and sailors and airmen for D-Day and since. And this, by the way, we really appreciate you. We need to cut the federal budget. We need to cut the national budget, and that means we need to cut the military budget. Or we need to reinvest some of the federal budget, and that means we need to cut the military budget. It's hard to say those things. They can be reconciled. They can be reconciled. You can say, yeah, let's take care of veterans. Let's make sure we don't send people into worthless foreign wars for no reason. Let's make sure we take care of people who serve. And let's make sure they actually serve and we don't just do dumb stuff with money. You can reconcile those things, but you have to I understand that it can be difficult for people. And it's also, you already pointed out, that Eisenhower's brought up earlier. Eisenhower brought it up too. The military-industrial complex is a real and powerful thing. Talk about real power? That's real power.